araw po ang umaalis sa Pilipinas ngayon, pero marami rin ang nagpupunta sa Amerika to chase after their American dream.
This American Dream segment is brought to you by Aquino and LOEW Law Firm, answering your immigration questions.
And of course, American Dream becomes American Nightmare if you don't know your rights as a undocumented or documented alien here in the U.S. That is why we have Attorney Allison Aquino here from Aquino and LOEW Law Firm to explain some immigration laws to us. And today we're going to be talking about 3 significant changes in immigration. Let's first start with the U visa. A lot of our Kababayans don't understand that, and you were watching earlier too. The U visa is for people who
are victims of certain specified crimes.
Okay, so for example, earlier we talked about Filipinos exploiting fellow Filipinos, not giving them their wage and all that. They can qualify.
It depends.
Okay.
Just because you're being taken advantage of doesn't necessarily amount to a crime.
Okay.
Okay. So it is very fact specific. There are situations where the level of work and essentially the type of work that they're doing and the conditions of the work amount to essentially modern day slavery. Mm-hmm. In that situation, if the working conditions are so severe, they're so bad, and the individual really doesn't have the freedom to leave that employment, then that constitutes a crime that may qualify them for a U visa.
And what is the change in the protocol for U visas?
As a part of the U visa application, an individual is required to obtain certification from certain government agencies confirming that they have been a victim of a particular crime and confirming that they have been assisting that government agency in the prosecution of the perpetrator.
Okay.
And so the recent development is that the Department of Labor about a year ago indicated that they would issue the necessary certification. Late April, the Department of Labor finally released its protocol or its procedures for requesting that certification from the Department of Labor.
Okay, what's going to happen now? What's the first step? If, let's say, I was being taken advantage of, first of all, is you go to your attorney and see if you qualify for a U visa because you can help, right?
Correct.
Okay, then what happens?
And so individuals need to assess whether the facts of their working conditions amount to 5 certain types of crimes. So the Department of Labor has indicated that they will issue certifications for individuals who are victims of involuntary servitude, peonage, trafficking, obstruction of justice, or witness tampering.
Okay, very quickly, involuntary servitude, yun yung tinatago ipo, yung mga passport at visa nyo para hindi kayo makaalis. Number 2, what is that?
Peonage.
What is that?
It's essentially the same thing as involuntary servitude, except it adds a requirement that your work is in repayment of a certain debt, whether it is a real or imagined debt.
Okay, third, meron yun. Meron akong narinig before na yung kababayan nagtatrabaho sa domestic helper, may mga binibili siya, mga cards, mga ganyan, and so sinasabi na hindi na siya babayaran because yung hours niya is to pay for that debt. So that amounts to that. Okay, number 3.
Would be trafficking.
Okay.
So essentially, if the individual, there was a plan for that individual to be brought in from the Philippines to the United States, that could amount to trafficking.
So halimbawa, travel companion daw kayo kunwari, coming from the Philippines, pero hindi na kayo papauwiin because itatago na yung passport nyo, that amounts to trafficking.
Precisely.
Number 4.
Well, obstruction of justice and witness tampering kind of related, where in the context of work, if there is someone who is preventing you from honestly testifying, from who's intimidating you, who's coercing you to keep your mouth shut, essentially, and trying to persuade you to not assist with the government.
And later on in the show, we're going to put up the number of Attorney Allison Aquino, so you get a chance to talk to them. They do give free office consultations, so call them for your interview, for your appointment. The thing is, President Obama is dead serious about immigration reform. Yesterday, with a speech, he actually slammed Republicans about this.
Yes, exactly. And that's very promising because in the political environment that we have right now, we understand that immigration reform is very difficult. But the fact that the president continues to hammer away at it, continues to express his support for comprehensive immigration reform, that's exactly the type of dialogue that we need to even have a chance of having some type of reform.
What are the chances of reform happening within the next few years? Because some people are saying that this is just another ploy for President Barack Obama in preparation for a campaign for the next upcoming election.
Well, whether the chance is small or big, the important thing is that we need to contact senators and we need to contact the representatives in Congress, and only then through action will we be able to have any type of even chance of the reform that the president is pushing for.
And speaking of contacting the senators, we also need to contact them in regards to the DREAM Act.
Correct. Exactly. And most important, because just today, the DREAM Act was introduced into the Senate. Last December, the DREAM Act had passed the House of Representatives, but it failed to pass the Senate. And so now it actually is a bit more promising, the fact that the DREAM Act has been introduced into the Senate itself, where it failed last December.
Right. Okay. So some good news today from Attorney Allison Aquino, but we don't stop at that. You need to consult them. I know you have other immigration issues and concerns. That's the number to call on the screen and the website to check out. For now, thank you so much and more power to you.
Thank you, Janelle.
Magbabalik pa po ang Kababayan LA from Filipinos taking advantage of fellow Filipinos. This time we talk to Filipinos trying to help fellow Filipinos. Some good news for you when we return. Don't go away.